This is Paul. Yeah. It is infamous to lay snares for the innocent through forms of law. Yeah. See, I'm a little concerned about law enforcement allowing for false police reports and false arrests. I'm concerned that you're actually just laying snares. You're going to get the guy. You're going to say he's crazy. You're going to refuse to admit the evidence. You're not going to acknowledge court orders from other courts. Yes. You're going to help yourselves to anything and everything you can get, while at the same time abusing, yes, those that are citizens. Now, this is what's known as contention. Yeah. A strong opinion that someone expresses, especially a legal or factual position stated openly by counsel. His main contention is that he owed the driver no duty. Oh, argument or disagreement between people, controversy, strife, or dispute. A source of contention. Yeah. Earnest effort in the face of opposition. Yes. A stubborn. A stubborn competition with revivals. Jones's contention against the establishment proved fruitless. Yes. Then there's the contention interrogatory, yes, and contention jurisdiction. Contention possession. See, hostile possession under possession. Now, hostile. This is the kind of word that describes bullying. Hostile possession. What did you do? Yes, that is hostile. Yes, that you thought that I was going to give you my sons? Yes. That I was going to allow you to not allow me to speak to Marilyn? Yes. And then you were going to take my inheritances? Right. Mm. You were going to be hostile toward the idea of being sued and imprisoned? Yes. Because of your exploitation of children. Now, hostile possession. Is there any assets that you've refused to allow me to have that you have knowledge of? See, if my grandmother did get married at 17 years old, yes, to an individual named George Sinclair, and those little four babies, because I did know my uncle George Sinclair, yeah, he kind of looked like my grandmother, yes. And then there's Verna, yeah, she kind of did look like my grandmother. Then there's Stephen, yes, he sort of looked like her, but Claude probably didn't look like her at all, yes. I'm just wondering, did they give birth to all four of those, or did they adopt them? Hmm. Hostage taking. Let's see. The unlawful holding of an unwilling person as security. Yes. That the holder's terms will be met by an adversary. Now, let's say that you issued court orders, forms of law. Yes. And you decided that you're going to hold hostage my sons. Poop. They're kidnapped. You get 100 years in prison for that. Because I proved to you, right, that I never got any notice of court hearings. Yes, I never got a dissolution of marriage. Yes. You never had the jurisdiction of law to dissolve a United Nations marriage certificate. And then you arrested me, yes, and you issued court orders where the petitioner didn't petition the court. Oh, and then you used forgeries. Then you all got paid to do that because you all decided to take the money. Yes. Now, the problem is the manipulation of a person. Or entity by seizing or threatening to seize something important so as to secure the demands against another party. You want to meet a motion in the court right now? Are you sure they're not hostages? Hostage, an innocent person held captive by another who threatens to kill or harm that person if one or more demands are not met. Well, I don't think you threatened to kill my sons, but you did probably threaten to harm them. Yeah. Maybe my wife, yes, in working with Homeland Security, was threatened with prison if she said anything. And all those body doubles that can go to prison that signed her name on all those forgeries, yes, they were probably threatened with going to prison. Poop. And then there's this idea of the coach, the superintendent, and the employees of the school districts, yes, going to prison. Now, I'm not really threatening. I'm just telling you what the law allows for. Yes. There's one thing to use your authority, yes, to hold hostage persons, yes, because of the threat that you face of the law being enforced. It's another thing to be in the muscle, yes. Yes, it is. Well, you have no authority of law to say anything that you're doing. Yes. Now, hostage taking is a federal crime. 18 U.S. Code A 12-1203. Kidnapping, international law, someone who is given or taken into an enemy's custody in time of war. His or her freedom or life standing as security for the performance of some agreement made to the enemy by the belligerent power. With whom the hostage is associated. Yeah. Now, let's say I found out that the United States military took my son's hostage, General, admirals, poop. And the Constitution says that you cannot have any active duty military or veterans, yes, that are going to say, well, we're going to do it this way. Hmm. Now, I told you about children that are prisoners of war. Yes. The taking of hostage of children, yes, because of your fraud, of issuing fraudulent court orders, yes, or my wife didn't appear in court, poop, and you used lookalikes and body doubles, yes, and you laid snares for me, yes, and then they decided to play football because you made them play football, yes, and then you enriched yourself because you put your name in the newspaper, yes, and then you had $100,000 a year increase. Well, it looks like your motive for keeping children hostage is the amount of money you got paid. We're back to the war crimes. Hostage. The 5 innocent sons were held captive by the school district who threatened to imprison their mother or harm them because CPS was going to take them if one or more demands are not met. Let's say there's some money involved. Yes. Was it that you were promised what belongs to me and to them as the incapacitated minors? Yes. Was there some inheritance from Heidi's biological father? Yes. How about June, her biological mother? How about my relatives? Was there some money attached to this whole holding children hostage because of your refusal to enforce the laws of the United States? Is there any money out there, Sheriff, that you didn't want me to know about? Well, George Sinclair, Verna Sinclair, Stephen Sinclair, yeah, and then their spouses and their relatives, yes. Then there's the side of Heidi, yes. There's Uncle Wally, oh, there's Cherie Kingery, yeah. There's Lori Kingery, and then there's Stephen Kingery, oh, and his wife from the Philippines, poop. And then there is Homeland Security's involvement in my personal life. There's Janet. Oh, there's Jane. Now, you're going to have to release from the captivity the innocent persons known as the 5 minors named. Yes, because the issuance of the protection order has forgeries on it. Yes, it does. I was not given any notice or opportunity to be heard. Yes. It wasn't issued in accordance with the full faith and credit provisions, yes, of the VAWA. Oh. And then you're going to have to arrest Brent Pooch. Well, probably all the judges in Clallam County. Porter, yes. Let's see, Cogenhauer, Mellick, Doherty, Ken Williams. And then there will be the sheriff getting arrested and quite a few of the undersheriffs, Ron Peregrine, yes. Deputy sheriffs, yes. Then there's Brian Smith that gets arrested. There's Terry Gallagher. You remember when I shook your hand? Then there's Bill Dixon that gets arrested. Yes, Cherie Crane and quite a few police officers. And then there's this whole idea that you're not going to enforce the fraud, the forgery, the kidnapping laws, and the holding children hostage laws. Yes, you're not going to let me speak to Marilyn, even though I've. Is she being held hostage? Well, her husband's a bully. Is there some reason that you're not going to let me speak to her? You know, when I think about sexual nerve endings, she's probably going to have to do something that she does want to do or doesn't want to do. If I thought about Mike's sexual nerve endings being the bee on Marilyn, yes. Are you absolutely sure that that's the individual that she wants to have be on her? Or is she wanting to change sexual nerve endings so that I would be her and she would be me?